So this is from Zero Hedge. You can find it over at discern.tv/ESG Grift. That's one word. Discern.tv/ESG Grift. And it's titled ESG Endgame. Deutsche CIO now says oil companies have a place in ESG funds. I'm not going to, well, let me read part of the article because I do want you to get the gist of it. It's a relatively long article. It's funny, Zero Hedge, sometimes their articles are super short. They're usually about medium, but every now and then they do go with a long one. And I'm not going to sit here and read the whole thing to you. I will tell you what's missing from this article, and that's the important part. According to Tyler Durden, the group, I guess you could call as Tyler Durden over at Zero Hedge. At the end of the day, it always winds up reverting to common sense. And in the investing world, alpha. I disagree, but hey, that's what has Markus Müller, Chief Investment Officer ESG at Deutsche Bank's private bank, admitting this week that if you want to make money, no matter what you label your fund, you're likely going to need some exposure to energy and big oil. He also noted the obvious that big oil companies have, in fact, been making strides to reduce emissions despite being labeled as serious polluters and more money than God. And having more money than God by the Biden administration and their cronies. Reuters dropped a bomb last week when they reported that Mueller had stated on Tuesday that sustainability funds should include traditional energy stocks, arguing that not doing so deprives investors of a primary opportunity to invest in the transition to renewable energy. That is the key point. It's bolded here, and that's very important to understand. I'm going to repeat it. Sustainability funds should include traditional energy stocks, arguing that not doing so deprives investors of a prime opportunity to invest in, not in oil, not in gas, not in coal, not in anything like that, in the transition to renewable energies. And therein lies the real play here, the real grift. This isn't about helping you make money, okay? It really isn't. If you're like, oh, my funds are heavy in, my retirement accounts are heavy in ESG and but it's okay because they're going after more money by getting into the energy industry. That's just not true. I mean, it's true temporarily, but that's not the end game. That's not their goal. They're not saying, oh, well, looks like we're going to make more money for our retirement accounts, our customers, our clients by going through and investing in energy. No, it's the other way around. What they're saying is, hey, guys, hey, energy companies, you got two choices. You either get with the program and help us to lead the charge for climate change being the supreme interest, the supreme whatever you want to call it, the ultimate skeleton key, as I've said. You help us make climate change a thing. You help us make climate change happen, as only you can uniquely do, and we'll make sure that our investors are investing in you. We'll make sure that the money keeps rolling. You don't have to fear the end of oil, because oil's not going to end, by the way. And that's never been the goal of the upper ups. I'm not talking about the little minion cultists. I'm talking about the people that are actually pushing for climate change to be a thing or the thing. They don't care about the money. They don't care about the climate. They don't want to stop oil. They have no intention of ever stopping the use of oil or any fossil fuels. It's not what this is about. It's always been about control, as I've said. And as we move into this brave new world, we're going to see more of this. We're going to see these companies that are supposedly the worst when it comes to environment, social, and governance, and we're going to see them embracing that last part of it, the governance aspect of it. Who better to engage in a public-private partnership with governments across the country and across the globe than the energy companies? They're the ones that can lead the way, and this is what all this is about. It starts off as a threat, get with the program and go green, or you won't get your ESG rating, and you won't get investments, and you won't get this, and you won't get that, and you'll get all, we'll take our cultists and we'll send them they'll glue their hands on your building and throw red paint on it. And that'll teach you a lesson. And it's like, I don't know. But then they hit you up with this. Oh, what if we reverse that? What if we really grease your palms? What if we make you guys, instead of the bad guys, what if we make you guys the ultimate good guys? Could you imagine if Exxon was leading the charge against climate change? Could you imagine if they were the ones that are saying, hey, we're developing this, we're developing that. And by the way, if you watch television, I don't, but if you do watch television, I was told recently that there have been a lot of ads by oil companies showing how they're going green. It's all tied together, folks. It's all part of the same exact agenda. And when we look at this, when we look at stories like these, number one, we learn two things. So we learn that, as I've said, the energy companies are going to be leading the charge in the public-private partnership under the guidance of the globalist elite cabal to force climate change into every aspect of our lives. Number two, people have no idea what ESG even is. And that was actually, I took the story down, but that's actually part of a quote here. Who is this? This was, I don't know. But there was a survey, and according to the survey, with 1,759 mostly European respondents, and let's face it, Europeans generally know a little bit more about what's going on. They're not good at interpreting it, and they're very blind in certain areas. But compared to Americans, they generally know what's going on better than we do. And I'm not talking about, worldwide. I'm just saying as it pertains to, for example, in this case, ESG, they have a better understanding than we do. But according to this, with 1,759 mostly European respondents, revealed that just 15% have a solid understanding of ESG, and a mere 3% consider themselves experts. What is an expert in ESG, by the way? Just curious. But 15% have a solid understanding. And again, it's less here in the United States. That means that we can be out here, and I'm often out here harping about ESG. ESG is bad. ESG is a lie. It's a scam. It's a grift. And yet most people don't seem to know very much about it. If you are one of those people, I would recommend looking into it before they change the name, because they've already, who was it? It wasn't Jamie Dimon. It was Larry Fink over at BlackRock, who said, I'm not really crazy about this whole ESG thing. It's been perverted, and we're going to change the name. So I don't know what the next name is going to be, but for now, get people educated about ESG before they change it to something else. Thank you for watching. If you ever want to find me, you can find me at Twitter or Gab or Truth Social or Getter or any of those places. Just look for JD Rucker, JDRUCKER. You can find me at my news aggregator site, which is discernreport.com. You can also find me at the Ultimate Drudge Alternative, where I don't own the site, but I am the editor over at thelibertydaily.com. Check out America First Report, and probably the best way to stay on top of things would be to subscribe to my Rumble channel over at jdrucker.com/rumble, jdrucker.com/rumble. You could also get my free newsletter, jdrucker.substack.com. God bless you all, and may God bless the United States of America.